I would now like to introduce you to Guli Zhu. Guli is a 2006 Buffalo Urban League Scholarship recipient who graduated this year from the University of Pennsylvania, and he's going to share some reflections of the importance of this event because just 4 years ago, he was sitting where you're sitting tonight. Guli?
Good evening. So when Brenda called me to ask me to give the speech, I'll admit that I was a little bit confused. I'm probably less than 4 years older than most of the students in this room. I didn't fight in Iraq. I didn't make it into American Idol because, let's be honest, I'm no William Hung. The only thing that I have to show for the past 4 years of my life are some 5-figure tuition bills that I gave to my parents, and a couple pieces of paper with A's, B's, and C's that I hid from my parents. And no, they're not receipts from Victoria's Secret. I thought about how I could possibly give advice to an audience as diverse as this. Every student here has different experiences, different goals, and different dreams. But I realized that the common thread that connects every Buffalo Urban League Scholarship recipient is the desire to succeed. We're used to grades as being the foremost measurement of our success. But what about the strength of your personal network? The diversity of experiences outside the classroom? The pursuit of your passions? Academics, although important, is just one of many elements that comprise success. I wanted to talk a little bit more about 3 dimensions of success that I felt were critical to my college experience. The first dimension is failure. Ironically, failure is a very integral part of success. What your grandparents call wisdom is actually just a lifetime of failures. But they took each failure and learned something. That's what makes them experienced. In my sophomore year, I received a C in my math class. And yes, believe it or not, Asians do get C's in math. It took me a while to realize, though, that, well, getting a C isn't in and of itself a success. It wasn't a failure either. I thought about the kinds of people I was competing against at Penn, about the girl who sat next to me, for example. In 4 years, she graduated with two bachelor's degrees, one in finance, one in international relations. She won the Rhodes Scholarship, interned for 2 summers at Goldman Sachs, started 2 nonprofits, played varsity ice hockey, and was captain of the debate team. Did I mention that she also had a 4.0 GPA? Competing academically with her was like racing against Usain Bolt. Can it really be considered a failure if you lose? Instead, I recognize the value of my personal wealth, the respect of my peers, the experience gained from studying abroad, and the incredible support from my friends, families, and mentors. The C taught me that I wasn't the biggest fish in the pond anymore, but at the same time, I didn't need to be the biggest fish to achieve success. The second dimension is entrepreneurial spirit, the ability to take calculated risks. In business school, we learn that there's always a trade-off between risk and reward. Think about Obama and his campaign to become the first Black president. Think about Mark Zuckerberg, who left Harvard in 2004 to revolutionize the way we communicate with Facebook. These people overcame the fear of failure, took a substantial but calculated risk, and are now recognized as some of the most successful pioneers of our time. Indeed, in just 6 years, Mark Zuckerberg is now worth $5 billion. Not bad for a college dropout. I ask that you please do not, or at least the scholarship recipients here, do not develop illusions of grandeur and tell your parents, Mom, Dad, Guli inspired me to drop out of school so I can get rich. I'll get quite an earful from Brenda, I'm sure. Perhaps the most important dimension to success is the ability to recognize your own accomplishments. When you're competing with the best and the brightest, it's easy to feel lost or inadequate. You start to lose self-esteem. You begin to measure accomplishment not by what you want to achieve, but by what others deem to be prestigious. I know this because I've struggled immensely to separate what I want versus what others want for me. Some peers will judge you not based upon the quality of your character, nor your passion to help others, but where you interned last summer. There was even a book written about this herd mentality at Wharton that's fittingly titled The Running of the Bulls. I was only able to regain perspective after many hours speaking with my mentors and parents, and then reflecting on my own aspirations. I realized that other people's opinions of success should never belittle your own accomplishments, and it's up to you to recognize and be proud of all that you have achieved. Finally, after 5 minutes of listening to me speak, I hope you've realized that 21-year-old wisdom is an oxymoron. As such, I'd like to leave you with a quote that I think best describes the success of one famous Penn graduate, Donald Trump. Mark Twain once said, "To succeed in life, you need two things, ignorance and confidence." Thank you and congratulations, graduates.